you again. Most welcome.
Hello. You're there to see you.
Yeah, we go again.
Okay. Hello and welcome to another edition of our Let's Talk Marriage discussion series. Today we are talking about a very important topic for all of us here as grandparents. It's exciting to be a grandparent, and we're going to touch on how we have evolved from being parents to becoming grandparents, and how things have changed, what we have learned over the years of being grandparents, that maybe some things we didn't do with our own children that we have learned and we're doing with our own children. And it's very, very important to us to talk about. Before we go on, I would like to introduce a book to you. It's just coming off the shelf. It's really hot right now, and a couple of us, a number of authors came together and wrote something about grandparenting or about their own lives with connecting with people, with community, and just learning how to be in community, because as grandparents we are in community with our children and with other grandparents, and we're just learning also how to be that, how to stay together and be impactful, be effective people in our community. So this book is this is volume 1 of it, and it's really beautifully done, very interesting reading. All the authors have different perspective on life and on different topics like knowing your worth, embracing our perfect imperfections, which we all have some, and also how to turn challenges into opportunities, and what it means to be a grandparent, and all of this in this one book. And so I was blessed to be part of it, to write something on grandparenting. So avail yourself in the book. Just get a copy from Amazon and every other places that we get books from, and you won't regret it. The topics are great and they're well written and well done. Okay, so with me to talk about grandparenting, as usual, is Kofo. You're welcome once again.
Thank you. Nice to be here again.
Sam Babatunde, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yinka Marcos, welcome.
Thank you.
And my humble self, my name is Yinka Marcos, and I am here to discuss this beautiful, beautiful topic here today. Okay, so let's go into it. The first question, we're all learning to be grandparents, and through our grandparenting, what are we learning? What any new learning that we've had over the last couple of years of being grandparents? Sam, you want to start?
Sure, no problem. Was a very good opportunity for reflection, because I think we must set also the context right. When you are a father, there are multiple tasks and assignments for you, along with this same parenting. So one is parenting, the other one is grandparenting. When you are now a grandfather or grandmother, your level of occupation or busyness is much less than when you're just a parent. Your wisdom level is much higher, and your approach and methodology definitely wiser.
Wow.
So that makes a lot of difference from an effective comparison with when you're just doing parenting. And I found that one very helpful, because it also enables you to bring to bear a lot of experience from the first level of parenting to help these young new ones. And so it's been quite a wonderful experience for me. Illumination of saying, oh, wish I know better. Maybe some things I did before, I wouldn't have possibly done them this way. But honestly speaking, I don't think you can know better when you're just a first-time parent and you are nursing how to go and get to the office through that traffic, plus getting water for the home or whatever you want to get for the house. When you're a grandparent, I think, like I said, you just get wiser, so you can even manage your schedule better, even if you start to do some schedule. Like those of us who are still at work at this point in time, the management of the schedule is a lot different and better than when you're just a first-time parent. So it's been wonderful things, a wonderful experience of recognizing things that you don't need to re-emphasize again or redo the way you did it at first. Yeah.
So it's like better management.
Better management.
You've learned for so long, maybe 30 years of working in being in the workforce.
Exactly.
And now you're managing your time, you're managing your experience, you're managing even the way you do things, even the way you talk sometimes.
Correct.
You're also managing the way you relate with people in general. So with all that wise ways of doing things, or wiser ways, you're also applying that to the grandchildren.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. What do you say, Yinka? What's new for you?
Well, lots of things. I have learned some new things. I've unlearned some old things, like kids should not get water to drink until they are 6 months old for some reason, and they should sleep in a certain way, and they're allowed to cry for so long, So I've learned a lot I've unlearned a lot from that. But it's exciting to be a grandparent in the 21st century.
Wow.
When our children were growing up, there was no phone, there was no television babysitter, there was nothing like that. But now, lots of programs on TV for grandchildren, that's kind of interesting. And it has made me wonder what I missed in bringing up my own children, because I like spending time with my grandchildren, and it's actually a very fun thing to do, So I'm enjoying it. I'm learning new things, yeah, for sure, and I'm enjoying it.
Awesome. That's good. Good. It's not like you didn't enjoy your children.
Well, no, I enjoyed my children, but I could have, I enjoyed them very well at the time.
The kind of enjoyment you're talking about now is kind of different from what the
of course,
you had.
It was enjoyable that time too.
It was.
We call it a different strokes.
Exactly, at different times, right?
Yeah. Seasons.
Seasons and times. Yeah.
We learn a lot, especially culture-wise. All the cultural things that we learn as children. Who bears the brunt of them? Our own children, because we bring what we have learned into the family system, and then we just do what we knew best to do at the time. And like for instance, we talk about spanking, we talk about even children sleeping like 12 hours. I always think that I don't think my children slept 12 hours non-stop. We slept, whenever it's time to sleep, and we wake up when I'm going to work. It's simple. So there's no looking at things and saying, okay, schedule this, schedule the food, schedule the breastfeeding, schedule. Everything is on schedule. But way back then, we didn't schedule anything.
It was on demand.
On demand.
Parenting on demand.
And we just did what we knew then. And so now we're learning. Now we're learning that, you put food in the fridge when it's like 3 days. It's no longer good for kids, for babies. I'm like, oh, really? Okay then, let's eat it up.
Zoom it all, man.
And and a lot of other things that I think that they're great things. It's just that for me personally, I find them really like strange, in the beginning. Like, why would you force your child to sleep at 6, or 7, or, and it's good to see and to be willing to learn and unlearn, like you were saying, Inka, that you unlearn some things and to learn new things as time goes on.
Yeah.
Right.
Anything you're learning, Kofo?
Well, I've learned majorly that a lot of the things that we stressed about while parenting our children were not necessary. Wanting to, especially we are immigrants coming from Nigeria, where children, everything, you need to learn. You have to know your ABC before you are age 1 plus. You have to know count 1 to 100. That we did. We're so focused on education, formal education, but there is a lot more education they can do. Just letting children mess things up a bit. That's what we think. Let them play along with things.
Let them eat messy.
Messy, for that, God bless our children. It's like when you sit them on their chair and you're wondering, okay, I'm going to feed you because they're messing around. Now, I think I've learned over the years, we have the patience, the wherewithal and all that to let children just do what they want to do. And so I see myself, just saying, no, you don't have to feed it. Just give her a spoon. Give the baby her own spoon. And baby just putting the food all over the place, putting some on the face and on the head. It was like, oh my goodness. But that's how children learn. So that has been, has changed for me. I stress less, with the children. It's like you're just comfortable. You're at home. You're patient. You can take whatever is coming. When we're parents, it was like, I don't know, I'm going to take this one. I can't take this one. Oh, you want to sweep? Oh, you poured water on the floor. I have to clean so that I can clean it well. Now I know that I can deal with messy ground. It doesn't matter. It doesn't take anything from me. Yeah. Oh, baby, did you mess that up? Okay, clean it up. Whichever way he or she cleans up, I'm fine. I have more patience to do that. Parents are busy. I have to get this, I have to get that done. So I've learned that. I also have learned that children thrive, like we're saying, on structure, on orderliness and consistency, which we had some of them, but consistency wasn't so much in place, per se. We just go with the flow sometimes. We can go with the flow with the children right now too, but the flow is kind of structured in a way that the child still feels that we're following his lead. We can't leave them to do everything by themselves or not, be impute into their lives, but we give them more freedom, more, measured and, measured freedom and liberty to just explore and be themselves. So I've learned a lot of that. Yeah.
And of course, with your work now and as a childcare provider, and I just want to say that Kofo and Sam have this outfit for children right now. It's called Omar's House, and I've learned from them too that Omar's Place. Sorry,
Omar's Place.
That Omar stands for grandparent.
Grandma. Omar is grandma.
Grandma.
In
Opa
Dutch.
is
grandfather. Grandpa
in the Dutch language.
In Dutch language.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like you're bringing your children to grandma. Wow. Isn't that something?
Absolutely.
They always say that, grandparents spoil grandchildren. And so when they come, like she was saying, she's more patient, she's more giving,
have more time,
empathic, more time, more, whatever else, like not stressing too much,
Right.
Like I know you said something one time before that. What we stressed while we were parenting our children was unnecessary. And I took that, I'm like, yeah, it was actually not necessary. And so I read also in the book, while we were writing this book, I actually did a lot of research myself. And there was something that somebody wrote in their book about their own parenting. She was watching this grandma in a park. And the grandma just allowed the child to get in the mud, in the puddle, and just splash puddle, and she was cringing and thinking, what is this grandma doing? Because she was in her house faces the park, and she was watching through the window, and she said, yeah, and the grandma came another time, did the same thing. So she said, the third time this grandma comes, I'm going to confront her. And so she did that, went to this grandma and said, hello. And the grandma was like, hi, don't you love my grandbaby? Don't you love how she's playing? Don't you? And she couldn't confront her the way she wanted to. And the grandma said, and she said, well, but you know, what about all this dirt and all this, you know, there's germs in this water, and you know, like, and the grandma said, yeah, it all goes in the washing machine. All goes in the washing machine. She goes for a bath and feed her and she sleeps. A little germ here and there doesn't kill the child. And the woman just was like surprised. Like, and she said the next time she had the chance, she took her child to the park, let her do everything. She said it brought joy to her.
the child.
To her too.
Yeah, to her,
It brought joy to her, and she was like, yeah, I need to relax. I need to not stress too much about germs or how I'm going to do this laundry and what time do I have to clean up and do this and that she didn't ever try to stress anymore. So grandparents have a lot to teach young parents, really, because they are more, like you said, patient. And so we can learn patience from grandparents to just
and wisdom
chill.
and wisdom.
And wisdom. A lot of wisdom.
I find out that you know, training is easier, you know, because you have the time and you let the children be. That's what I found out. So the children learn a lot. For example, because I have all the time, I can tell the little child, clean up that place, and the child cleans it up, you know, very roughly the first time. Okay, let me give an example. I have one little girl now that is toilet training right now, and she would want to pour the pee in the potty and the toilet by herself. The first time was very rough because some of them spilled on the floor. That means you have to sanitize that and clean it up and all that. But she's a perfect pourer now, if I can put it in that way. So she can put the potty up easily and pour everything in the toilet without anything spilling. Wow. And then, so that child is learning skills. So skill development in children is easier with grandparents because they're patient. You know, but they say, no, it's going to, my bathroom is going to be smelling of pee. You know, I don't want that to happen. So we're so uptight as parents. All that uptightness is not necessary.
I have to tell you a story about when I was babysitting my nieces. So, you know, in Nigeria, because of the water system, you sometimes have to boil water to put in the fridge, right? You know, and my little niece will want to help me with putting water in the bottle, and she will make a mess of it. And at that time, why is he doing this and stuff like that? So I heard two grandmas talking. You know, I just overheard them. So one said, oh, grandchildren, I mean, that's the way they do. They always want to help you. And that just stuck in my brain. So when I went to my brother's house the next time, I told my niece, I said, this bottle is your bottle. You're going to fill it yourself. So I filled all the other bottles and left her own bottle in a basin. And she made all the mess she could make. She didn't disturb me on my own. She had her own. It was lovely. I learned from grandparents.
That's awesome. So give them their child size to do. Because they want to do everything. And that's how they learn hard work. That's how they learn responsibility. But when we shove them off, because they're interested at that time, if they lose that interest and passion at that time, you may not get it again. So when they're now older and you expect them to help, they will just because they've lost it. So that's what grandparents are able to help children, do because they have all the time, for that. That's a good one. You caught that very early.
That's awesome. Yeah. Okay, so let's just go into a little bit on something you've said again, Kofu, and I like to quote you here too about what you're learning for Oma's place, even for yourself as a grandparent. That skill of serve and return, could you explain it a little bit?
Yes, I will. I actually learned it from a workshop. It was actually a course. I was a 3-month course, and it's called Brain Story. And I want to advise all parents. Brain Story. That's what it is. Brain Story. If you have a day home that is registered, that you work under an agency, you'll be allowed to do it free of charge. But if you want to do it by yourself, you have to. I think we might pay something. It's not much, but for every parent should do it because it will help them with parenting. So what I learned is that, from that 0 to 2 years, children's brain is really growing. But by the time between 0 and 5, that's when they have the most growth. And so you want to in their brain, and you want to put in so much. And what a child needs is just serve and return. It's like a tennis ball game. You serve the ball, and then the other person returns. That's when the game goes on. But for the child, a child serves with whatever they do or say, whatever they need attention for. Even the queen of a little baby, they're cooing, they're excited, they're laughing. Always be there to attend to that serving. Once you do that for a child, that child is growing, the brain is developing. And that's where you now talk to the baby. You say, oh, do you like the ball there? Even though maybe that's not even what the child wants or is saying, but you're just trying to preempt what is serving. And when you return with a smile, like you said, you return with another word, joy, and all that, and that just makes the child bubble and be alive and lively. But when a child misses that serve and return, the child may have problems with brain development. I can't go into too much details of the nitty-gritty of it. We didn't do too much of the details. The doctors will know better. So that is the serve and return. And then I realized that the serve and return does not necessarily be done by mom or dad. So even if a child is missing it from home, for those of us who have a childcare, if you can provide that for the child in your childcare facility, the brain of that child will still develop. So then this is also advice for parents. Don't feel guilty if you're not able to do everything that you think you needed to do for your children. If you have a good helper, if you have a good daycare center maybe, or if you have a brother or a sister, a relation or a friend that will love that child enough to return her serve, you'll be doing well. So don't put it upon yourself alone. That's why we need all the support. If you have your parents-in-law, your parents are around, let them take care of the children for you. Take a break. You're not missing anything. Your child will not feel that you have abandoned him or her.
And what you're saying too is that use your daycare center as a resource for your own parenting. Because sometimes they have all the tools, they have all these things that they do with people, with your children, education, and all that. And you can ask them also, so what did they do today? What can I continue at home? And not just, okay, I'm going to pick the kid, and then you pick the kid and you're running off. And of course, there's an understanding that, you have to go to work, you have to go and prepare meals, and all that. But what we're saying is take a step back, a little bit of slowing down on rushing. And that's one thing too that I'm learning as a grandparent, that not to be rushing everywhere. Like when I'm going for a walk, I'm like, brisk walking to work, for my walk. But when I'm walking with my grandchildren, they stop, they look at this, they smell the flowers, they pick up stones.
That's mindfulness walking.
Mindfulness. And what they are teaching me is that, be mindful in all that you do. Don't just rush things and go. You preparing meals, you just put things and buying things in the pot. But take time, just relax and be mindful all the time.
Manage the mess.
When you talk about consistency, there is a little thing on YouTube about a person there was this little kid on her little seat, and the lady would come in and cool with the child, that kind of stuff. So they showed it one time. The child was expecting this anytime she sees maybe he's a mother or auntie, I don't know. But one day the lady decided not to smile back at the child, and you can see the child reaction. It's like
Cold.
it's like what happened there? It's, it was. So the consistency is actually very good, and I think all adults, they say it takes a village to bring up a child, and it's very important that all adults know how to deal with a child actually, so they can, we can all bring up the child.
I kind of developed a rapport like that with some of the children that come from their home there. And they almost like now run it like a part of the daily timetable. They come in early in the morning after greeting her. Where's Mr. Sam? Mr. Sam? They are coming off straight for piano practice.
Wow, that's really cool. That's really
Even
cool.
when I was not ready for it, I just say, for the sake of these children, piano.
That's really cool. Yeah.
I'm going there. They don't know what they are playing, but they are enjoying the phone. They were
Just
just
banging on
playing.
it.
And they were singing and playing rough there.
And I think that may develop their skills, because one of the things that I notice here is that coming from another country, you come here in school, they go for this music lesson and music lesson, but the person has not picked it up from childhood, right?
Yes.
So they are really. It's like, I should be with my friends in the field, and you're bringing me. I have to go to this, after school. So it makes them lose interest. But if you are used to it from that kind of age, it's going to be good.
One of the pictures that one of the parents liked the most, one of my little ones. I think the child was about 1 year old. She started walking. Was when she was sitting and playing piano with Mr. Sam. So she sat down and looked so lovingly, smiling at my husband, and he was also smiling at him. And the mom said, "This is
picturesque.
my favorite, my most favorite photograph." In Oma's face. I'm going to look for that picture and properly frame it for them. It was such a beautiful sight. Just making the children happy and joyful. It takes time. It takes passion. It takes love. It takes energy. Yes,
you're so tired.
Being present.
No free lunch.
You're thinking of, when are they going to sleep? When are they take a nap? When are they changing their diaper? They just put, they peed again. All of that. And you're like, wow, chill, cool down.
It's a whole different institution altogether, but I think it's quite
and so as grandparents,
stimulating.
I see all those things. Change the diaper or feed them, and there's just joy now. Unlike when I was parenting, I'm going to do this again, all over again, all day, all night. Oh my gosh, the focus is on the trouble and the stress and all that. But
now
this time is like joyfully just doing it. It's tiring. It can be tiring, but
it is fulfilling.
It's really, really joy.
And then you are bringing up to life.
Yeah.
When you even do it to animals like dogs, pets, it's still something for a lot of people. How much more now when you are doing it to a real life?
And God has so made it that the kids become more independent. So you have to do it for a limited time. Become more independent.
They don't want you to, exactly.
They are moving on.
So, again, from this book, I'm just going to read a little bit of my own input to it. There are many chapters here written by different people, but my chapter is on page 190. 183, but I'm reading from 190. And this is also to be my grateful heart to my children.
Yes.
I am thankful to my children for making me a grandparent and showing me some new ways of parenting. It has been a pleasure watching them love on their children and being generous with their time and energy. They read books, they listen to podcasts and connect with other parents to gain knowledge for effective parenting. Since becoming a grandparent, I have realized that my tendency to be in control and my effort to enforce my own perception based on my parenting experience will result in unnecessary power struggles with my children about their parenting. So I'm open-minded, and I appreciate
Their efforts.
their efforts. I trust them as parents, and I need to step back, respect, and honor their decisions as the direct parents. It's becoming more meaningful to me that my grandparenting role is indeed an opportunity to be a parent again without making parental decisions. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And just the last part of my chapter here, 193, I'm grateful to God for the privilege of grandparenting. It's really a privilege.
It is.
Making a mark on those precious lives as I contribute to their growth through caring and providing life-changing experiences for the benefit of their generation and the generations to come. And I pray that all my family, friends who are looking forward to becoming grandparents will be blessed soon. I treasure this stage of my life. I treasure my children and grandchildren as they continue to teach me how to be a grandparent. It's genuinely a treasured life.
Wow.
So beautiful, so good. I truly pray for all those who are waiting for this kind of experience, that God will heal and bring the desires of your heart to
Amen.
pass.
Amen.
I pray it with all my heart. And those who have grandparents or grandchildren, I trust that you will learn more about how to do the grandparenting in a grand way so that we're leaving a legacy that is important for our children and our grandchildren and also the generations to come. And that's why I love this book, because it's a legacy that we're leaving for grandchildren to read and for the next generation as well to learn more how to be great parents as well as great grandparents. So thank you, Oma's Place, Oma's Place, for all that you do, for grandmothering all those children that come to you, for teaching them, for being patient and being, giving them life-changing experiences. And I've been to Oma's Place. I've seen the children and how they just love. They will come to you and they will hug you. They want to know your name. They want to know a lot about you. The last time I was there, I didn't want to leave because I just loved what they're doing, what you're doing there. Thank you for that. I know it's a vision that God has given to you, and it's not just a job, but it's a passion that has been given. And thank you for talking about grandparenting with me today. Thank you, Sam, for all that you are doing too.
Thank you, Opa.
Opa. Thank you to all the Omas in the world.
The Opas.
For all that you do. I was told one day as I was writing this by a friend that this is a generation that we need more Omas and Opas to raise the children of this generation. And it is true. We really need them. And if you're one, congratulations. If you're not yet, they're coming.
Amen.
And thank you, my husband, for being a great grandpa.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you all. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you.